Historic outbreak of tornadoes here in Virginia.
It was raining sideways and it was ripping everything up in its path.
The church is gone and a lot of people hurt.
Trooper sources telling us at least 3 people are dead in this area.
Dramatically devastating.
It just rips my heart out for the people that lived here.
They are just really happy to be alive right now. Homes completely demolished, cars flipped over.
Devastation, debris is spread for more than a mile. It is a miracle that she is okay.
This is CBS 6 News at 11. I'm Candace Burns. We have complete coverage tonight of the aftermath of yesterday's deadly tornado outbreak. Our Bill Fitzgerald is on the ground in Waverly coordinating our coverage tonight. And Bill, it's been a little more than 24 hours since those storms hit. What is it like right now where you're at?
Well, Candace, I can tell you there's still a lot of work going on even at this hour. As we look out along 460, which is where we are right now, we can see the blinking red and yellow lights of crews that are out trying to reestablish electricity, trying to lay cables again, trying to get this town back to where it was. I'm standing in front of what is now left of the A-Plus tire store. You can see it's pretty much just a mound of twisted sheet metal, really a pile of rubble. And then further back beyond there, several hundred homes on the other side of the railroad tracks that have no power tonight. So those crews are doing work to get them back online. Now, in 2 of the tornadoes we saw yesterday, 4 people, at least 4 people were killed, including 3 right here in Waverly, among them a 2-year-old boy. And our John Burkett had the chance to speak to that boy's mother. We'll get to John in just a moment, but first we want to let you know about the 6 tornadoes that touched down in this state yesterday that have been confirmed so far. Among the 4 dead were 50-year-old Larry Turner, 26-year-old Devin Stringfield, and 2-year-old Ivan Lewis. Those were the 3 that were killed when their mobile home was picked up by a tornado here in Waverly, smashed across 300 yards. Also killed were 78-year-old Edward Harris. He died after he was thrown from his mobile home by a powerful EF3 tornado when that touched down in Appomattox County yesterday. And now investigators are also looking into a possible 5th death, that one in Shenandoah, where a woman's car was swept away by rising floodwaters. Now, as I indicated, our John Burkett had a chance to speak to the mother of that 2-year-old. And John, she was actually in the trailer with those 3 family members, her son, brother, and boyfriend, as that trailer was picked up and hurtled across 460.
She was, Bill. Trinica Stringfield telling me she was treating this as a regular rainy day. Her brother was in the kitchen cooking breakfast. Her boyfriend was watching a movie, and her 2-year-old son was running up and down the hall, having the best of times. And then all of a sudden, a loud pop, a burst of wind, and she woke up across the street, 300 yards behind a church.
I appreciate that message. I appreciate you telling me that because I feel a lot better.
2-year-old Ian Lewis's mom comforted by the title of the story we found in a child's Bible, laying next to a can of Play-Doh in the debris from her mobile home off Mayfield Drive.
We got a lot of books, and I didn't know that was on the road. Turned to that page, and you telling me now lets me know that it might have been a message for God or a comfort from God just to let me know that my baby gonna be okay.
Trinica Stringfield says there was no notice.
Wind just started blowing and the light started flickering, and it did it one time, it stopped, and then it started blowing again, and then it never stopped.
With household items smacking her in the face, she says it felt like the terror lasted just 10 seconds. She prayed.
Closed my eyes and I just started praying. I started calling on the name of Jesus, and I just let God know that I knew that it was power.
As she was thrown from one side of Route 460 to the other.
My trailer was everywhere.
Trinica's brother, boyfriend, and 2-year-old son were all killed.
That I love Larry, and I hope everything will work out for him. I love my son, and I love Dee as well.
A moment in time, Trinica wishes she could rewind and run for safety, remembering her son's laughter that filled the hallway minutes before the mayhem.
Loved his mom, and he was a decision maker. Like I said, he was a man amongst men in a young man's body. And he liked to work on things, so I'm pretty sure he would have had a lot of trades or a lot of gifts as a grown man, but that's my baby.
Strong in her faith there, Trinica Stringfield says she has to hold it together. She has 2 more kids. She works at Southside Regional Medical Center. She lost everything. She lost her transportation. She is in desperate need of help, she says. They have set up a fund to help bury her son. It's Waverly Toddler tornado relief, Waverly Toddler Tornado Relief. It's a GoFundMe page. You can look it up by that. And I've had a lot of my Facebook friends reach out to me about how they can help these folks here on the ground by helping them pick up debris. I am told tomorrow, if you want to be a part of a work party, be here at Waverly at the Fresh Pride parking lot no later than 9 a.m. Boots on the ground, wear proper attire, and they will help. You can help folks pick up the debris here in Waverly.
A lot of people really want to do that, John. Great report. Thank you for that. So as I mentioned a moment ago, there were 6 confirmed tornadoes in Virginia yesterday, but at least 8 were reported in the state, and that includes Essex County and Naylor's Beach. Now, Naylor's Beach is just north of Tappahannock. We got our first look at the damage there tonight. Some homes completely destroyed, others barely standing. It essentially looks as if an entire neighborhood has been completely obliterated. But our Melissa Hippolyte has been out there tonight taking a look at some of the damage. And Melissa, what have you found?
Well, Bill, this is the bridge to Naylor's Beach. As you can see, it is currently blocked off. That's because, like many parts of this town, there is an enormous amount of damage on the other side.
When we came through here last night, in all those places, the roads were just covered with trees.
One of Joanne Evans' best friends is in the hospital after surviving a tornado that demolished her home. So Evans is doing the only thing she can for her.
I'm just going to try to pick up some of her belongings. She had that mobile home back there.
Come on back.
Evans lives just a few miles away in Tappahannock, but her home wasn't touched. The people who live here, though, are among the Tappahannock residents who faced the tornado head on.
You're right. How do you survive that?
Spencer Scott's brother rode out the tornado with his 3 kids in this closet and survived. The closet still stands. The rest of the house in shreds.
It's a miracle, really.
Scott's niece's tutu hangs at the entrance to the closet. Cooking eggs lay around the yard. The family's refrigerator thrown several feet from the home. Reminders of what life was like before a tornado had its way.
Pretty much you lose everything in the instance, just a blink of an eye, and it's all gone.
Across the water from Tappahannock, another neighborhood destroyed. These images from Seth Mayer show Naylor's Beach, a popular summer spot for people from Richmond, now reduced to rubble. Powerful reminders of just how fragile life is.
Yeah, it was truly a blessing, for everybody to have survived down here, looking at the destruction that it caused.
Now, the officer who is sitting here in his vehicle tells me that the bridge to Naylor's Beach will reopen at 8 a.m. tomorrow, Bill.
All right, thank you for that report, Melissa. Now, you at home no doubt saw Zach and his team of meteorologists working for hours on air yesterday to keep us all ahead of the storm. Zach has been monitoring the weather, of course, today as well. And as I was mentioning earlier, that it's gotten a lot colder tonight. To not have heat, as a lot of these homes, several hundred behind me, do not have tonight, it's going to be very difficult. So, Zach, the question is, will the weather hold up for the next few days as these people try to get their feet back under them?
Yeah, the temperatures, they're tough to deal with, Bill. Being cold at night when you don't have proper shelter. I think a lot of folks have been reaching out and helping folks that have been displaced by the storms. But the good thing is there's not going to be a lot of water to deal with in terms of some rainfall. A lot of times you'll see a severe weather situation, and then days after that, you get rounds of heavy rain. That just makes it awful trying to clean up and try to pick up the pieces. It's going to be dry over the next few days. They've got that. What we're seeing on radar, almost all of that's not reaching the ground because very dry air is moving in. Haven't had any reports of it reaching the ground. The big storm system's now north of Maine, so it's out of here, but still strong winds behind it. We had very strong winds today, a 53-mile-per-hour wind gust in downtown Richmond, on top of the Dominion building from our Sky Tracker camera. Temperatures outside are currently in the 40s across the area, and tomorrow's going to be a chilly day. We'll have sunshine. Wind chills, though, will stay in the 30s. Our high will reach 47 degrees. Winds still a little bit brisk out of the northwest. Here's my weather-wise question for tonight. The scale used to estimate tornado wind speeds based on their damage is called A, Richter scale, B, Saffir-Simpson scale, or C, Enhanced Fujita scale. Go to my Facebook page, submit your answer now to win 4 tickets to the circus.
All right, thank you, Zach, for that. Now, you heard John mention a moment ago that folks are coming to the Family Pride tomorrow to help here in Waverly starting at 9 a.m. with the cleanup. But many of you at home also said, hey, we'd like to pitch in some other way. Well, we can say tonight, thanks to you, victims of disaster relief from the events like we've seen in the last few days here in Virginia will receive some much needed help. CBS 6 News teamed up with the American Red Cross to hold a phone bank to raise money this evening. And we're happy to say we were able to raise more than $10,000. And that does not even count the extra $7,000 that ServPro had offered as a match. If we could raise that much, we did, and more. So more than $17,000 has been pledged. And all of us here at CBS 6, thank you so much for all of that help. And of course, it is not too late to donate. If you would like to take part still at this hour, call the Red Cross. That number on your screen is 804-780-2250. And in just a few minutes, I'll be back to show you how another small town is pulling together in the aftermath of this devastation to get themselves back up again. Again, sometimes out of the most terrible events come some joyous, unifying moments. We'll have that story coming up in just a moment. But for now, let's go back to the studio and Candace.
Thanks, Bill. We'll see you in a few minutes. As always, you can follow our complete coverage on WTVR.com. Now we turn to a CBS 6 News special report about a plan for the future that some claim will desecrate the past. There's a battle right now over 2 former slave homes on an old plantation. On one side, county leaders who want to move those homes. On the other, descendants of the slaves trying to keep this important land unchanged. Our Sandra Jones reports.
Keep us forever in the path, we pray.
From the foot of the hills in Southwest Virginia, folks gather in unison. Who lived, worked, and died at the now Greenfield Preston Plantation. What may look like a Black History celebration
and is lay here today, Lord,
is somewhat of a funeral.
Amen.
For this group, insisting the county wants to bury a piece of history.
This is living history. It doesn't have to die. I've seen a lot of people from the community.
Cheryl Sullivan Willis is a descendant of the slaves who worked this land.
It's just a dishonor to the life that lived here.
Built in the 1700s, Revolutionary War hero Colonel William Preston transformed Greenfield into a plantation from a frontier fort. Preston owned large numbers of slaves in Botetourt County.
A shadow of what it was.
Richard Moore is a descendant of Colonel Preston.
I've visited here with my grandmother when I was a child, and all the buildings were intact, and it was just a very old place. I remember going in the house, and it was smoky, it felt old. It just was the most oldest place I've ever been in. And of course, even then it was 200 years old.
Fast forward to 1994, Botetourt's Board of Supervisors acquired the historic Greenfield Plantation, paving the way for new development.
There was a lot of public input, there were public meetings, public hearings.
As a compromise, county leaders formed a citizen advisory committee hoping to build a history park on the land.
But you're talking about 800 acres. Why not just build around that and just leave everything else intact?
Right, and that's something we hear a lot, and it was just a very developable, attractive piece of property for commercial development.
In October, protesters mounted opposition over the county's plan to move the last standing historic kitchen house and slave quarters and level the hill believed to have unmarked graves.
When I first saw that house sitting there, it tore at my heart.
The county did an archaeological survey that turned up nothing. A judge denied injunctions to stop the county's plan.
The punch in the gut was that it was denied so quickly without a more formal hearing.
A lot of times people don't treasure history until the history is gone.
They insist the county is destroying history.
Is that what the county is trying to do?
Well, absolutely not. In fact, the county is trying to do the opposite. You know, one of the things that the county is trying to do is to make it easier for businesses to locate here and to grow here so they can create jobs here so county residents can work where they live.
Not according to critics.
The past is slipping away, and we should be thankful for what we have and try to work together.
But instead of celebrating, they're fighting to keep Black history here in Botetourt County.
What they're doing is no different than the way the slaves were treated so many years before. So in death, they have no dignity.
Amen.
Amen.
The Friends of Greenfield Preston Plantation say the county has now moved the 2 historic slave cabins to another location. The group raised $40,000 with a goal of $200,000 to buy the land, but they say county leaders refuse to sit down and work out an agreement. I'm Sandra Jones, CBS 6 News.
The devastation across Virginia after yesterday's deadly tornadoes is absolutely heartbreaking. But out of such tremendous loss, there's some hope. Next, Mark Holmberg takes us to a small town and shows us how they're coming together after a big crisis. Zach?
And the storm's over now. We'll take a recap of all the tornadoes and the surveys that were done today, showing you how intense they were. And we'll cover what to expect next week, where winter weather might make another appearance. That's coming up in the News at 11.
Our complete coverage of yesterday's deadly tornado outbreak continues right now. Our Bill Fitzgerald is in Waverly tonight. Bill?
Well, Candace, the devastation that is in so many parts of the Commonwealth tonight is devastating to look at. I mean, it is really heartbreaking to see how much work there is to be done, how many pieces to be picked up. It's easy to feel hopeless. But as our Mark Holmberg found out, there is one such small town that is pulling together tonight to bring out the best in all of them.
We're helping out for the people who lost their homes.
With some storms, like big snows or ice, many of us get to pick out how much we're involved, whether we go out in it. But tornadoes pick you. They can come right to your house, to your business, to your life, and take away everything you own or care about.
You never know where it's going to end up, and you never know how much damage it can cause. Oops, sorry.
What are you guys doing here?
Helping out for the people that lost their homes to the tornado.
Why is it important to you?
Because I feel like if this would have happened to me, I would want them to do the same for me, so I feel like it would be right to give back to them.
And it's just devastating to have something like this, but this community is pulled together. Keep your faith.
We're just reaching out to the community, gathering all the things, donated items that are coming in as fast as possible, and then trying to distribute it throughout the community for the affected victims.
It's often easy to focus on what divides us these days. But when something like this happens, we find out how close we really are. How does it make you feel to see everybody coming in like this?
It's amazing. This is what small town America is all about. When people go through tragic events in their life, people come together as a community, and it's just, I'm glad to be from here, and I'm glad to help out.
All right, this is what it's all about. Tappahannock, Mark Holmberg, CBS 6 News. Right.
And indeed, even here in Waverly at a convenience store, we saw strangers paying for waters for people they didn't know, but whom they had heard had suffered significant damage in the storm here yesterday. It really is something that builds up people. So CBS 6 News will be back here in Waverly tomorrow as the cleanup continues. You remember that John mentioned people are meeting at the Family Pride store to work together. We'll be back here right when you wake up tomorrow morning. So for now, that'll do it for us here in Waverly. Let's send it back to Zach and Candace in the studio.
Thank you, Bill. So tough to see those images.
Yeah, it's cool to see everybody coming together the way that they do. It's really, really awesome.
It does warm your heart to see so many people step up to help. But what a difference 24 hours makes.
Yeah.
It's so much calmer out there. Still some wind, though.
Yeah, a lot of wind behind this system, and you'll see this a lot of times when you see, whether it's a tragedy here in Virginia or elsewhere in the country, you'll see a lot of sunshine the very next day. That's just because these storm systems are so powerful, they pull in a ton of dry air in behind them, and they usually have some beautiful weather on the back end of these things. All right, here are all the tornadoes ranging from EF0 to EF3. That is a big deal in Virginia, an EF3 tornado. That's what we had in Tappahannock. Again, a 28-mile track here. That is a long track tornado, very unusual for any time of the year here in Virginia, and to have it in February, unprecedented, really, this outbreak. Looking at the other tornado, Northern Neck, Maratico. This was an EF1. 97-mile-per-hour winds. The one up in Tappahannock was 140. 100 to 110 for the EF1 in Waverly. And then farther south, close to the North Carolina state line, EF1 down in Keats. We had the EF3 up to 165 miles per hour. That was up in Evergreen, and the EF0 Kent Store in Fluvanna County. Today, 57 the high temperature. It felt colder than that with the strong northwesterly winds that we had. Right now it's 43 and still A southwesterly wind at 14. Yeah, still a bit gusty out there right now. It's bringing in that drier and cooler air. Other temperatures are in the low to mid 40s, so it's going to be a chilly start to the day tomorrow and really cool all day long. Upper 20s and low 30s by tomorrow morning. Sunshine, but chilly tomorrow. Highs only in the low to mid 40s. And with the wind around, that will keep the wind chills in the 30s, 37 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Northwest winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. The official high will reach 47 degrees. All right, rest of tonight, skies clear out. A lot of sunshine tomorrow and a lot of sunshine Saturday, even into Sunday. We'll start to warm up on Sunday, but before we get there, a couple of cool days both tomorrow and again on Saturday. Now, as we get into next week, warm weather Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Another storm system will come in. This one on Wednesday, that'll bring us showers and some thunderstorms. The setup's not going to be anything like yesterday, but that'll be our next chance for thunderstorms. And then as we get into the Thursday, Friday time frame, little clipper will move on through. Some cold air will be in place. That could bring us a little bit of light snow. But again, it's a week away. A whole lot can change in the pattern between now and then. So a couple of dry, sunny, and cool days are on the way. Still a little breezy tomorrow. 62 on Sunday. Beautiful day this weekend. And next week, lots of 60s showing up. Next chance for showers and some thunderstorms will arrive on Wednesday. And then just beyond as we get toward Thursday and Friday, maybe a little bit of light snow or flurries with that clipper. And again, we'll iron out the details a little bit closer to that time.
It's time for...
You ready for it?
I think so.
You said it was easy, so let's hear it.
Well, I know A has to do with earthquakes, and I saw EFs all over your weather map, so I'm going to go with C, the enhanced Fujita.
And that is it. You and many people got that, including Chris Tyler, who is tonight's winner. Yes, the Richter scales earthquakes, Saffir-Simpson's hurricanes, and enhanced Fujita scales, what we use to measure the strength of tornadoes.
Thanks, Zach, and congratulations, Chris. Coming up in sports, you'll hear from the new Flying Squirrels manager, along with scores and highlights from postseason basketball. Sean's in next.
Now, from the Geico Sports Desk, Sean Robertson.
We begin tonight with our coverage of Flying Squirrels spring training and the man who will manage the team in 2016, Miguel Ojeda. Ojeda was a catcher in the majors for 4 teams from 2003 to 2006, and for the last 3 years managed in the Mexican League, winning a league title in 2014. But according to him, to manage in the Giants organization was an opportunity that he could not pass up.
But I think that it was time to do something different, to get out there and look for my dream, and I'm just living it right now. I'm very excited. I think that it came in the right time, and here I am.
College basketball, we go to Charlotte with Virginia State met Fayetteville State in the quarters of the CIAA tournament. First half, Trojans down 2. Former Henrico standout Walt Williams hits the 3, his only basket of the half. VSU up 9-8. Under 2 to go before the break, VSU forces the steal and Kevin Williams finishes with the jam. Trojans led 27-20 at the break. Williams finished with 16 to lead the Trojans as they advance with a 71-57 win. We head to the high school ranks in the 6A South Region semifinals between Cosby and Oscar Smith, coached by former VSU star LeVar Griffin. First quarter, the Tigers were red hot. Desmaine Devane hits the corner 3. Oscar Smith began the game on a 14-2 run. Cosby would fight back. Walker Scaglione with a hook in the lane for 2 of his 12. Titans would get to within 7, but Oscar Smith would be too tough. Pretty bounce pass to DeAndre McSwain for the layup. Tigers advanced to the regional final with a 70-43 win. Over on the girls' side, Monacan took on Kings Fork in the 4A East Region semifinal. First quarter, Megan Walker back in the Lady Chiefs lineup with a nice jump stop for the basket. Monacan with the early 7-point lead. Later in the quarter, nice look to Abby Oguch for the deuce. Lady Chiefs up by 9. Near the end of the period, Monacan gets the steal, and they will find Jaden Morris for the basket and the bump. Monacan advanced to the final after a 72-54 win. You can go to our website at WTVR.com, click on the sports page for more scores of playoff action around the Commonwealth. More CBS 6 News right after this.
We want to thank you all for watching CBS 6 News at 11. We leave you tonight with a look at some of the heartbreaking images that came out of yesterday's tornado outbreak. From all of us here at CBS 6, good night.